Good evening, everybody. The Music Fan is back, bringing smiles to the faces, knowledge to the people, and most importantly, music to the masses. And I am back with another Are You In? After a long and kind of complex album review last time, I thought we would make this a little bit more meditative and a little bit more smooth, but not be any less beautiful and poignant. This time around, I am taking a look at the newest City in Color album entitled The Love Still Held Me Near. This is the seventh album of City in Color, also known as Dallas Michael John Albert Green, the Canadian musician, singer, songwriter, and record producer. You also might know him as one of the leading members of Alexisonfire, a band that had a heyday back in the 2000s. I never really got into them, but I know a lot of friends who did. I did get to check out their 2022 album Otherness, and even though it did not make my top 100, it was literally 101. What I really enjoyed about this album is the fact that there were a lot of harder moments, but there was stuff there where Dallas Green got to shine, and those were my favorite moments. Sans Soleil was one of my favorite songs of 2022. Mistaken Information is also great, as well as Blue Spade and the closer World Stops Turning. Of course, you kind of see a pattern with all these. These are where Dallas Green is the lead singer, and there's a lot of great slow bits, as well as a lot of great harmonies, a lot of great guitar lines. So this missed my top 100 by this much, but it was still a great comeback from this band. Got to check them out a couple of months ago with Avenged Sevenfold. They also just sounded amazing. I heard that there were some issues with one of the lead singer's voices for Alexisonfire, and I was really worried going into the concert that I wasn't going to enjoy it. But they sounded amazing. Not to be outdone, Dallas Green dropped another album this year. Now, I'm a little bit late to the party when it comes to City in Color. I didn't really check out their first three albums, and I've heard those are really great. I actually checked out Sometimes not too long ago from a request from a friend of mine, and really enjoyed the guitar work, the lyrics on there. Hello, I'm in Delaware is an incredible song. But I started with The Hurry and the Harm, and that was an incredible album to me. It made my top 10. I loved the smooth and butteriness of Dallas Green's voice, combined with some really great guitar lines. Songs like The Lonely Life, 2 Coins, Paradise, Take Care, The Hurry and the Harm, Harder Than Stone, Time and Place. Not only are those incredible songs that I love to go back to, but they are songs that I find super rewarding in learning them on guitar and singing them. Some of my favorite songs to play on guitar at this point are City in Color songs. Moving on to 2015, you have If I Should Go Before You, another great album of theirs, and one that to me has one of the best love songs ever in If I Should Go Before You. If you haven't checked out that particular song, please do. It is so poignant, talking about that you will still be there after death, watching over this person until they meet their end as well. It's such an incredible song. But also it starts off with Woman, and there's a great song, Lover Come Back. Another solid album of theirs. A Pill for Loneliness didn't really hit those marks for me, but it was still a good album. But with that being said, I was looking for a little bit more on that next album. And finally it is here, and I can safely say that this is a return to form from Dallas Green. Now, I would say this isn't as guitar-centric as some of the other albums that I have talked about, The Hurry and the Harm, If I Should Go Before You. I'm not saying that this isn't, of course, guitar forward, right? All these songs have a lot of acoustic guitar, a lot of electric guitar. It's going to be slow paced. It's going to be bluesy. It's going to be atmospheric at times. You are going to sink into these arrangements. But what I mean by this is that the guitar is there as a vessel for Dallas Green's vocals. Not necessarily a lot of showy guitar work on here. But that isn't a bad thing. This makes for a very consistently good album where there's a lot of really great vocal lines. Most of these songs are super memorable to me. The first song on the album, Meant to Be, has this more alt, folk, and blues rock vibe that fits great in Dallas Green's wheelhouse. Melody is gorgeous, especially the chorus. The harmonies are sparse but really effective, especially on the bridge. And the lyrics here, I really feel them, especially with how sparse the arrangement is. You really dive into the emotions here, as you do with a lot of Dallas Green songs. This particular one about losing a friend or a loved one and not necessarily being there for them in their time of need, and questioning faith and religion and everything like that. Next, you got Underground, a short, sweet, and super catchy song. This is by far one of my favorite songs of the year. It's not super flashy, and the lyrics basically talking about live life to the fullest, don't live life waiting for that moment where you can have those great times. Super simplistic, yet super effective. I love this chorus. The "so tell me what you need, you bring me to my knees, and I'm tired of running, tired of moving life around." So catchy, so simplistic, yet so effective. Another great song in here is "The Love Still Held Me Near." Another simplistic song, another one that's super slow. This has a little bit more bluesy electric guitar on here, but it also has a super simplistic yet, again, effective chord progression where you get to fall into these vocal lines from Dallas Green, especially when he's saying like, "Awake, awake, my darling," or the waves. It feels so ethereal. It feels like you're floating on air as you're listening to him. This song about being there for someone in their time of mental anguish, super beautiful. The bridge part when you get those harmonies in is absolutely incredible. On the next song, you get A Little Mercy. It's a little bit more powerful as you get into those choruses. The "just a little mercy" is such a great line. A song about finding love and mercy in the fluidity of relationships, whether it be significant others, friendships, the ooh, 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 like those lines after the choruses. Great rhythmic idea, great flow into the next part of the song. Love this one as well. Without Warning, another gorgeous song here. It feels really bluesy, it feels really soulful. There's some nice organ parts on here that really tie in well with the song while also giving it its unique sound to the album. This is Dallas Green singing like one of his most passionate love songs that he's ever sung, saying that he will be there even when times get tough. Another great chorus on this album is probably some of the best vocals that you hear on this album as well. Hard Time, another great bluesy song, another great chorus. I love the harmonies on this one, especially when you also get that calm response of but I. So good, so much great power to this song. The song is talking about living and loving in the here and now because you're not sure what is after this. You can definitely tell through a lot of this album it is the being in the present and loving and being kind to the people now instead of doing it later in life when you know you don't have it, or potentially trying to do this because of the reward of another side, right? This album came out after the pandemic, and of course with someone that has so many thoughtful lyrics throughout his discography, it's safe to say that he took a lot of what happened with COVID and the pandemic to heart and made a more present album. You could definitely feel that through a lot of the songs and the lyrics and the topics on here. It makes for a lovely ride throughout, and that kind of epitomizes with the second to last song, Bow Down to Love. My second favorite song from this album, if not very close to my favorite song in this album. This is the most powerful that I've ever heard Dallas Green. There's so many beautiful harmonies throughout, so many great melodies. This is probably the best melody by far on the album. And yeah, there's probably some parts on this particular song which it feels a little bit overdone in terms of the length. But, you know, when you get to that lay down easy part right before that last chorus where Dallas Green is belting a C sharp, sounds so amazing, and the payoff to me is so worth it. Now, there are a few other songs on this album, and it's not to say that they aren't good. I just think that with an album that feels a little bit similar at times, they aren't the strongest material when it comes to everything else. And that is probably the one flaw on this album, in my opinion. As good as a lot of these arrangements are, and if you take it song by song, you really do enjoy a lot of them. The pacing isn't always amazing just because everything feels very in that groove, very meditative, very slow, very thoughtful, right? So when you get some of these other songs, they're not bad, they're just another stepping stone to another great song. So for example, Fucked It Up. Simple bluesy song about messing up in a relationship. Of course, Green's vocals carry the song, but it's not really a very compelling song to me. There's some great chordal melody ideas, but in all, other than like the chorus, I don't really get a lot out of the verse itself. Things we choose to care about, one of the more stripped down songs on the album. The guitar isn't as forward, there's a little bit of the piano, giving more weight to Green's voice as he's talking about nostalgia. I really resonate with the idea of like easy victories not coming as easy as you get older. I really appreciate that. You know, it's a nice halfway point song, but again, it doesn't leave a lasting impression on me. After Disaster, I like the spaciousness, I like the cavernous vibe of the song. It does feel one of the more atmospheric songs on the album, but in a way also with the chord progression being kind of similar to a lot of others on this album, it doesn't really stand out other than atmospheric, and it kind of meanders on by. Even if there are some things that you can kind of pull onto, it just feels a little bit too long for me. Water Is Coming, I really enjoy the "you won't care for me, so I won't care for you." And with all the harmonies on there, I like the little chuggingness, giving a rhythmic bounce to this particular line. It's powerful, especially when it turns on its head, being like, you won't care for me, but what if I care for you, right? This is a song about a lot of the bad shit going on in this world and people feeling like they can't help each other. But there is this silver lining of like, okay, you know, you're not caring for me, but I'm going to try to be that person that cares for you. And that's super nice. But there's a lead guitar tone on here that I just don't really vibe with. It just feels a little bit off because there isn't really a lot of electric guitar on this album, and it just doesn't vibe with everything else that's going around, in my opinion. And then Begin Again, lovely little tune about finding peace and starting over. This is definitely the closure part of this album. This is the last song on the album, and it's probably one where like Dallas Green is finding closure and peace in what has been happening in the world over the last few years. It's very nice. It ends this album on a sweet little bow. But that's really much it. It's like a 3-minute song that just kind of like ties everything in without having like a lot of impact, in my opinion. That being said though, this is a phenomenal album. I really enjoy it front to back, and even if there are some songs that feel a little bit similar in vibe, I stay for the lyrics, I stay for the melodies, I stay for Dallas Green's voice, and I do stay for the simplistic chord progressions too that are very effective. You're not going to be blown away by a lot of these arrangements in terms of the guitar. What you're going to be blown away by is Dallas Green's voice, because it's as good as ever. Even when there are some similar sounding songs, they kind of just are nice bridges to even better songs, in my opinion. There's not a bad song in this album. So with that being said, this is a play on repeat. Again, there is that kind of sameness, consistency on this album. And if you haven't ever gotten to Dallas Green before, this probably isn't going to be the one that's going to get you on there. But, you know, if you love what Dallas Green does, this is just another great helping of it. It is a little bit long. You're looking at, I believe, about an hour's worth of material and 12 songs. But that being said, I just love the meditative vibe. I just put it on and I just flow with it. And I think if you enjoy Dallas Green, you will flow with this too. So thank you for watching that part. And as a reward, let me talk about my 97th favorite album of 2022. And that is Robert Glasper's Black Radio 3. Robert Glasper, what can I say about him that hasn't been said by other people before? He is an incredible pianist and one of the best modern pianists going forward, with very conscious ideas, and always brings a lot of great other artists onto his material. It's crazy to think that it's been 9 years since Black Radio 2. And I kind of just found out on a whim that Black Radio 3 came out, and I, of course, had to check it out. Like with my previous one that I talked about, the Cave-In album, this is going to be a long album. It's 13 tracks and a little over an hour, but almost all of these tracks hit. I love the spoken word piece in tune. It fits the vibe of what is going on. This is a lot of very conscious and very progressive songs, and just a lot of great ideas with a lot of great artists. You have Killer Mike on Black Superhero. I love the third song, Shine. I love the vibe of this. Tiffany Gaucher is a great singer on this song. Why We Speak, we have Esperanza Spalding and Q-Tip. Esperanza Spalding singing in French and English and Spanish. Love the vibe here. I love the playfulness and sensuality of the back and forth between her and, I'm probably going to mess this name up, but Menchel Ndegeocello. Love that. But to me, the crux of this album starts with the middle track, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Lala Hathaway being on here, Common being on here. This is a great interpolation of the Tears for Fears classic. Love this. And then honestly, after that, almost every other song hits in my opinion. Everybody Loved with Music Soul Child. It Don't Matter with Gregory Porter and Ledisi. Love the smoothness and the sensuality of this song. They pair so well together. Their voices are fantastic. Heaven's Here with Art Clemens, really great as well. Out of My Hands with Jennifer Hudson, also a great song. It would have been my favorite song on this album, if not for the next one, Forever. PJ Morton and Indy RE just blend so well together. It's kind of a sappy song about being in love with someone and want to be with them forever, but I just love the chord progression. I love the melody, and I love their interplay. And then Bright Lights is not a bad closer. I think what makes it not like higher up on this list for me is just it is a little bit long, and I think the beginning of this album isn't as strong as the end, but this is a phenomenal jazz album. If you haven't checked it out, I don't know why you haven't yet. Robert Glasper is great, and it's been almost a decade since the last Black Radio. Check it out, and check out The Love Still Held Me Near. That is my time. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you love this album or hate it and your reasons why. Share this with your friends if you think they will get something out of it. Like this video if you enjoyed what I'm talking about. Subscribe to my channel. That way I know that you enjoy what I'm doing and want to see more videos like this in the future. And also, hey, let me know other albums from 2023 you would like me to talk about. There's still plenty of time left. I have 96 more of these I want to do before the end of the year, probably right in the middle of January too. We'll see what happens. And also hit that bell as well, so that way you are informed when I have more material coming out. So I did talk about a concert that I just went to with Alexisonfire and Avenged Sevenfold. Just talked about City and Color. I wonder if Avenged Sevenfold put out a new album. We'll just have to wait and see. Until then, this is The Music Fan, and I'm signing off.